Welcome back to the Unbiased Room. Today we're going to talk about one of the biggest scandals that we've seen in college football in a long time. What's going on at Michigan with Harbaugh? Ed, what are your thoughts?
Man, this is crazy. In comparison to like the Spygate, this goes above and beyond, right? The Spygate was just like on the field recording. This has been an elaborate 3 years of purchasing tickets to Big Ten opponents, sidelines, sometimes both sidelines, when they are upcoming games from Michigan. 30 games where Michigan has somebody allegedly sitting there recording or taking notes on signals, play calling, trends. This goes beyond scouting report. This is, especially because it's in comp, like, we were talking about it earlier where they had tickets for the Georgia-Ohio State Peach Bowl. Potentially, that one of those could have been their opponents for the next game. That's tampering huge. And while Jim Harbaugh may say he didn't know about it, just like with his current, his previous investigation stuff, as a head coach, you're overall archer responsible.
Yeah. Harbaugh, I don't think he will be coaching at Michigan next year. As an administration, right, as a school administration, how many times are you going to give this guy a slap on the wrist? Either they're going to say, hey, we're not going to embarrass you. Go ahead and put your papers in and resign. And he might take and leave and take an NFL job. Because NFL are always looking for coaches. But there's no way they're going to let him get away with this. Because he's had how many scandals since he's been there? This is like the third one, right?
I think so.
And you cannot tell me that this guy did not know about it. There is no way. That is specifically for his team to have an advantage in a game.
Yeah, I do think Harbaugh is going after this season no matter what. I do think, though, that they're not going to penalize Michigan. I think that the NCAA is going to come back. It's going to take a long time for them to get this settled and all that nonsense. And Harbaugh's going to be gone, long gone. And I think he's probably tired of talking to the NCAA about everything that occurs with his program. But, I was listening to Dion today, and Dion was saying that he don't care about, trying to scout another team. He said for him, the biggest thing is you still got to stop it. And, and I think back about, they do have the scouting reports. They had all 22s. They have all that stuff that they could watch prior to it. But it still all comes back to, can you stop that team on the field?
Yeah.
I was also reading, though, that Michigan, after this is supposedly started occurring, Michigan has been beating these teams. The Ohio States, they beat them twice already. The Penn States, teams that they struggled with before, when Harbaugh was when they were talking about firing Harbaugh, now all of a sudden they're winning these games.
To counter that, so I agree to a point with scouting and all this stuff. If, like we say, battle played in Chattanooga. I mean, like I said, you could show them the play exactly how you're going to run it, who's doing what. But now, say you're lining up against Georgia in the SEC championship, personnel changes, signals to move stuff around. That stuff can be the determining factor in being the SEC champ and getting a spot in the college football playoff. So while Dion, I understand what he's saying, and I'm all for scouting report, trying to figure it out on the field, but this went on above and beyond scouting, and like you said, man, like they've been winning. Ohio State 2 years in a row after this. But where I disagree is that the NCAA, this is what they really hold near and dear the most. So I wouldn't be surprised in the future if Michigan has to vacate some of these wins. Something's going to come down the pipeline from the NCAA because they take the scouting and the what's it called, the quality of the game serious. And like Harbaugh should be gone after this season. I agree.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be gone. One thing I was thinking about, and I was listening to his radio show on my way in to work this morning. They were talking about saying, I think next year they're trying to implement the coach to quarterback communication system to eliminate all this sign language and all this stuff that they use to get the plays in. And, I was reading an article from last year where they were talking about this has been pushed before, and a lot of coaches were pushing back on it. So it's going to be interesting to see. But I think after this here, I think more coaches are going to be willing to listen to doing coach to quarterback comm in the helmet.
Anytime you have something that a bunch of people don't agree with or align with, it always takes something drastic to happen like this for people to be like, okay, maybe we should do that now.
Right.
And, people are going to be looking at Michigan. Every game that Michigan wins from here on out, when they are finally done with this investigation, it's going to be scrutinized, right? It's going to be scrutinized. You got to imagine if they beat Ohio State, if they beat Penn State, people are going to say they only won because they were still inside. That's just what people are going to say.
It sucks. They've had really great players come through the last couple of years. They've been a good team. But for them, now all that talent, all the hard work they put in, out the window, man. Like, y'all got here because y'all were stealing signs. Every win asterisk time of stolen signs time.
Yeah. That's going to be the narrative. That's going to be the narrative moving forward.
I think the in-conference play, especially for Power 5 conferences to have the helmets for in-conference play, I think that's an easy thing. I know where the smaller schools may have the money to do something like that. But especially in the Power 5 conferences, I think that's a very doable thing. They might as well just do it. NFL's doing it. Power 5 people are trying to get to the next level. It's an easy fix.
Yeah, and in that article, it was saying that he said, so it's easy in the NFL because you got 32 teams ran by 32 billionaires, right? But in college, it's kind of like you got schools that have a great budget, and then you got schools that don't have a good budget. And to keep that competitive edge, they say, hey, well, if you do it, like you said, it may have to just be within conference. The Power Fives only have it, Group of 5 teams doesn't. Or, you only use the quarterback to coach comms in conference play only. So those are some of the things. And then they was talking about starting this year, this will be the first time that they can use it in non-college football playoff bowl games. So that's going to be interesting to see as well if they do that.
Yeah, I will.
But I do think because of everything that's happened, it's coming. They're going to get away from the signs.
Man, that's an end of an era when you think about it. You know how some of the crazy signs they had when they had puzzles,
So what do you think this does for Harbaugh's legacy?
Oh, it's definitely going to tarnish his legacy.
Yeah. The reason I bring that up because Bill Belichick. So when all this happened with the New England Patriots, a lot of people made a big deal about it, but now a lot of people consider Belichick the GOAT. And it's like that Spygate stuff has kind of been thrown to the side. Harbaugh has been a good coach.
He rode the wave, though. Bill Belichick rode that wave, right?
Yeah.
Got through the madness, got through the bullshit, and now he is where he is, right? College is different. And a college administration is not going to stand. They're not going to take this on and just be like, oh, okay, man, it's all good. Slap on the wrist. We're going to, the NCAA is going to suspend you another 4 games. I don't think they're going to go for that because they have an image to uphold.
I think it immediately tarnished his legacy at Michigan. Those last 2 wins against Ohio State, that's a big deal for that rival. And now, questions about were they doing the size stealing? Did they know some of the play calling, or did they forecast, the games play calling beforehand. Jim Harbaugh, he was a winner in the NFL, and he came down to college. So I think for his if he bounces, he's gonna bounce into an NFL job. He'll probably recover in the NFL, but colleges, to me, they're gonna be like, we're staying away, at least for a while. I don't think he's gonna let go from Michigan, and he's not gonna go to another big time program. I think it's gonna be one of those. He has to go. He will have to forget about this, and then maybe, but for him, the best thing to do is to resign.
Yeah, because they're going to ask questions. Because remember, he turned Stanford around. Like, man, was he still in science then? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's going to be never ending. He's going to have to go ahead and walk out the door, wait a year, take an NFL job, and go from there. But for the foreseeable future, his college coaching days are going to be.
I have it, and I think it's hard to believe that he didn't know anything about it.
Yeah,
I find that hard to believe, because when you're game planning, you're going to start your first 10 plays. You're doing your game plan for the week, and somebody comes in there with like, oh, hey, I know I'm just a volunteer here, but I got all this good information. Like, you're not like you're not even just fucking let me get that. That's it. No, it's I don't believe that he did not know that something was going on. I think he just turned a blind eye. The competitive edge got the better.
Thank you for enjoying another episode of the Unbiased Room. Please like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time. Peace.